Thank you for staying with us on the AM show. What a beautiful morning. If I gave you some behind the scenes information about what exactly is going on today, you'd be surprised. But we're here to do what we do best. So right before we usher you into the news review, just a quick recap of what to expect on the show today. I'll be sharing with you my blunt thoughts much later. But what should you expect after the news review? Sports. Muftau Nabila will be coming your way with that exclusive with Mr. Palmer, former executive of the GFA, and he has a whole lot to share with us this morning. We'll be getting into that all-important discussion with my colleague Muftau Nabila Abdullahi. After that, I'll be coming your way with my blunt thoughts, and let me just give you the topic for today. I have captioned it, "The Enemy Within, Why Ghana's Leaders Are So Far Off the Delivery Mark." The enemy within, why Ghana's leaders are so far off the delivery mark. But there's more. Today, it's back-to-back content. We'll also be airing Mapito Sibidi's interaction from yesterday on Citizen's Microphone with some market women, some salespeople around the Agbubulushi area. You remember we told you that the AMA is not able to clean up all the waste in that area. Just about 40% is what they can deal with, and it's partly because a lot of them are outside the market. And finally, well, I did spend some time in Rotterdam in the Netherlands. I'll bring you my Rotterdam diaries, 37 minutes of wonderful interaction. You don't want to miss that. All of that coming up this morning on the AM show. But for now, let's settle for the news papers. I have the Daily Graphic and the Daily Guide this morning. It's a bit of a lean morning, Mapito. Good morning.
Good morning, Benjamin. Yes, it is a bit of...
By way of the papers.
Yes, I know. So I also have the Daily Statesman, the Ghanaian Times, and the Finder.
Right. So quite a morning, and we're here to do the do. Let's start with the Daily Graphic.
Sure.
Auditor General retrieves 2.2 billion Ghana cedis, represents disallowances from 2017 to 2020. Let's quickly get into that story. So the Auditor General, Johnson Ekwuamwa Asiedu, has retrieved more than 2.2 billion Ghana cedis from disallowances captured in the Auditor General's reports between 2017 and 2020. The amount was out of the expected 4 billion Ghana cedi disallowances by the Auditor General. It was retrieved after the Audit Service had conducted audits of ministries, departments, agencies, public boards, the district assemblies, common fund, internally generated funds, pre-university institutions, and technical universities, and determined expenditure improprieties. The amount was also retrieved through 7 irregularities in cash utilization, contracts indebtedness, advances or loans, payrolls, rents, stores, that is procurement, and taxes, which the Auditor General disallowed after the audits. Here's a quick breakdown. Of the amount, 1.6 billion Ghana cedis was from tax irregularities, 420.31 million from the indebtedness, that is advances and loans, and 131.07 million from cash irregularities. The rest, amounting to 13.60 million, was retrieved from contracts, payrolls, rent and stores, as well as procurement. And just to wrap on that, in terms of disallowances and surcharge powers, the Auditor General informed the coalition, that is those civil society groups that have been calling on him to act to disallow and surcharge. He informed the coalition that it was not the case that disallowance and surcharge powers were not being exercised, saying the disallowance of expenditure made contrary to law had led to the recovery of over 2.2 billion Ghana cedis. So, Mapito, the Auditor General is saying, well, you guys have been telling me that I'm not living up to the expectations of a certain Daniel Yaudome level. But I also have my own processes, and I am going to do what must be done at the right time. As of this point, between the years 2017 to 2020, there have been some retrievals amounting to 2.2 billion Ghana cedis. My only problem is that this entire system is retrospective. It is a bit late. In other words, it happens, and then after it has happened, we now try to recoup. It would be better if we could, wouldn't it, Mapito, if we could prevent it altogether.
Yeah. Benjamin,
It's quite a situation.
It's quite a situation. But what more stories do you have for us?
Well, let's look at NDC outlines roadmap for internal elections. That is also there. It's on page 18. Anti-Galamsey force arrests 164 people. Suspects include foreigners. Government creates 5.3 million jobs. That's according to the employment minister. And Ghana will overcome economic challenges. IMF rep says so. So a quick look at page 13. And then maybe page 18, and then we shall wrap it from there. The other stories, if you'd like to get the details, you might as well grab a copy of the Daily Graphic newspaper. So, government creates 5.3 million jobs. That's according to Ignatius Bafwewa, Minister of Employment and Labour Relations. And he says government created 5,306,899 jobs between 2017 and 2021. He said the figure was arrived at after an analysis of data assembled by the ministry from ministries, departments, and agencies, and the government's flagship programs. Mr. Bafwewa, who was speaking at the opening of the 2022 Ghana Job Fair in Sunyani last Wednesday, said the government had made tremendous gains in job creation. Mapito, did you get any of these jobs? Apart from, maybe what you do with us?
Unfortunately not. So if you're looking for an MC or an entertainer...
Are you pitching,
Yes, I am.
live on television?
Yes, I am. So if you're looking for an MC for your wedding, your birthday parties or anything,
okay.
feel free to contact me. You can get me on Facebook and on Instagram. It's princess_PITSO. Princess_PITSO. I'm available for all your weddings, your birthday parties.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
That was
Your corporate
cool.
events, yeah.
You just pitched yourself like that. Can I fit into your pocket when you go for these gigs?
No.
Oh.
But I will make sure that you enjoy what I have reaped.
Okay, so there will be some.
So-
Do you know chimpe?
No.
Share evenly.
No, not share evenly.
As children, we used to do some.
But I'll make sure that you're sorted.
You'll make sure that I'm sorted.
Like I will full tank.
Will I get a tithe? 10%.
Maybe 5.
Maybe.
Yeah.
All right.
Apparently, finance just called. Don't worry, finance.
You're going to get a bill.
I'll sort you out. Your problem.
Yeah, you don't say money no be
Oh,
problem.
money no be problem.
Let's quickly do page 18 and we'll move from there. NDC outlines roadmap for internal elections, and the opposition NDC has announced guidelines for the conduct of the party's constituency, regional and national executive elections. The processes for the elections begin from September 20 to December 10, 2022, with the national elections slated for December 17, 2022. Pictured there, Johnson Esiedun Ketia, General Secretary of the party. Those are the stories in the Daily Graphic newspaper. And on the back, Tariq Lamptey, gate-crashing Black Stars World Cup party. And of course, he is set to make his Ghana debut against Brazil, with whom we play a friendly. That's it for the Daily Graphic newspaper.
Let me go to the Ghanaian Times, and the big story is 164 galamseys grabbed in swoop. They include foreigners, 5 female, 6 workers. Also, page 18, rabies kill 4 in renewed increase in cases in Kumasi. That's according to the Ghana Health Service, and they're issuing a health alert and all regions to get a high-level diagnostic centers. That's according to the health minister. But let me go to the big story, which is on page 16, and 164 galamseys grabbed in a swoop there. They include foreigners, 5 female, 6 workers. So they've been arrested following a 3-day operation by the military in the Ashanti region. They're from Nigeria, Cote d'Ivoire, Mali, Niger, and Burkina Faso. The arrested persons include 5 female sex workers who allegedly provided sexual services to the illegal miners. The illegal miners were transferred to Accra yesterday in the Ghana Armed Forces branded buses. Deputy Minister of Lands and Natural Resources, Mr. George Mekudoko, who received Duka, who received the illegal miners, said they will be handed over to the police for further action. And then, per the briefing, he said they were caught illegally invading mining concessions and mining in river beds. Let's talk about the females who were allegedly lured to Ghana under the pretext of offering them jobs. Benjamin, and this is like something that we have been dealing with, like even Ghanaian citizens being lured into other countries for jobs, and then they end up being stranded there. Mr. Duka cautioned persons currently engaged in all forms of illegal mining to immediately stop and vacate the forest and water bodies. This is a warning, and I quote, to all those who have failed to heed to the several warnings to stop illegal mining. We will come after you, arrest and prosecute you, move out of our river bodies and forests. Now, he said. Benjamin?
I am sorry I'm going to be this blunt. Good move by getting them. And you know, wherever there's a stash of money, usually it also attracts sex workers and all of that. So you would notice that many a time in these communities where there is gold mining or galamsey, it also attracts, you know, sex workers and all of that. And of course, at least in Ghana, it still is illegal, unlike in other parts of the world. But what I do not like in our country is the knee-jerk reactionism. It's always, oh, Galamsey is in the spotlight now. We're talking Aisha Huang. We're doing this. So let's show some force. It's all good, but let's not go to sleep. That's my whole point. Let's not go to sleep. Constantly, it's, okay, let's show, rather than let's actually do. Let's wipe out the menace. So yes, good move. You can't run away from the fact that this is a step in the right direction, but continuity, consistency is key in this regard.
You were talking about job creation, right?
Yes, I was.
Well, the Youth Employment Agency says the youth lack relevant skills to land these jobs.
Who is to give them the relevant skills?
Is it not our schools? So let me. So what he says, the Chief Executive Officer of the Youth Employment Agency, Mr. Kofi Ejapong, says that the unemployment rate among Ghanaian youth keeps soaring due to a lack of relevant skills to take up existing job opportunities. To that effect, he said the youth were losing out on jobs, especially in the artisanal sector. And so he says you want the best of masons to put up a building for you. You want the best plumbers to fix your pipes, and even painting, and you're directed to artisans from other countries like Togo. So that's what he's saying, that the youth lack relevant skills to land jobs. Yeah.
Relevant skills. Like I was saying yesterday, it's a concerted effort in other parts of the world. There's actually a plan. For example, this year we want to have 500,000 accountants, or 200,000 engineers, or 300,000 medical doctors. It's planned. And so we know the intake and everything. Here, you can't even regulate that. Typical case scenario, and yes, some of this may be very, I may be speaking in, I don't know whether to say esoteric terms, but the legal system, for example, we have such a yawning gap when it comes to our legal needs and what we can actually deliver. Look at legal aid in our country, for example. It's just a mess. Look at the legal system. Look at the court processes. Look at how many people are in, custody without proper trial, even after all the efforts that the legal system has made. And we have just about over 3,000 lawyers, the last time I checked. I could be mistaken. And how many of them are even active? You have one of the regions up north. I always forget whether it's Upper East or Upper West. I suspect it's the Upper East, with 3 lawyers, 3, for an entire region. So we talk about skill sets, and yet look at how the process is hobbled for people to get into law school. I mean, for the professional course.
Yeah.
It doesn't make sense.
Yeah, but
so when these calls are made, I often ask myself, what has the system done to ensure that people can acquire these skills?
Another interesting story here that caught my attention is bleaching, potential cause of irreversible blindness in unborn babies. Now,
Whoa.
Yeah. So what happens is that these women would insert or inject some sort of chemical because they want to be lighter.
Yes.
So at first, the first phase was that you buy a lotion.
Yes.
You get some sort of
smear it on your skin.
Yeah, so that's the first phase. But now they've noticed that this doesn't last long. You have to continue to use it, and then you'll see that they have some dark burns and all of that. So the second phase was taking pills so that the bleaching phase would last longer, right? That also didn't work. And obviously with taking the pills, it wasn't just it had its own effects, some apparently it caused a rate of infertility, and then just a lot of things were wrong with it. And then the third phase was the IVs, getting the IVs injected into your skin so that you can, or some fluid comes in so that you can, you know, be, what is it called?
Light-skinned?
Light-skinned, yeah. And so now has a potential of causing irreversible blindness in your born babies. And most of these people that do it are fairly young, 22, 23, but even older people do it. But the young ones are most at risk because they don't have babies. You know, they haven't fully grown into their bodies. So Charlie, yeah, I'm tired.
The words, you can't find the
Yeah,
words
I'm
to explain
tired.
it. I mean, it's just crazy, this phenomenon. And it's a multi-billion-dollar business.
Yeah.
This. Bleaching creams and all of that. And I wonder, you see, a lot of it, I mean, no disrespect if you choose to lighten your skin, but a lot of it as well, I think, is hair. It's the mentality that maybe lighter skinned is better in a way. I don't know how it came about. I don't know whether it's a vestige of colonialism. I don't know what it is, but some of the things people do, it beats my imagination. So you were using some cream on your body,
Yeah.
and you knew of the effects. I mean, do you know, I know of some people who had bleached so much, you know, it actually wears away your skin.
The skin, yeah.
To the point where some of them needed surgery, right? And when they went, surgeons could simply not stitch their bodies. They had to leave because their
layer.
skin layers had become so thin
Yeah.
that it simply, nothing could pierce it and piece it together. But what beats my imagination? You know, you are, even that is dangerous, but you are taking in pills or injecting yourself. It's going directly into your body, and you're not asking yourself if it is internally able to do that outwardly on my skin. What possibly could it be doing internally to me. Within my body?
Yeah.
I mean,
and also
these
blame
people are
social
brave.
media. Is it brave, or it's also like
No, I'm saying they
a
are
bit of
maybe recklessly
insecurity also?
brave because
Okay, recklessly brave.
I
Okay, makes
wouldn't.
sense.
I would think twice.
Yeah, but I also blame social media because when you're looking at all these like top models, you're looking at like our top five it girls in the country or any other country. These babes are light skinned, you know, they're light in
Right.
complexion.
Right.
And it's like, okay, so I'm sitting here. I mean, I'm naturally like this. I'm naturally light, yeah. But like if someone is watching me and they like dark and it's like, oh, Charlie, I'd like to be like her. You know, maybe I also might end up on TV. You know, maybe I might also get the gigs.
But then again, it goes to the portrayal.
Yeah.
Because maybe we're all feeding into it. When you look across the media, and now you've brought in another, very interesting subject. When you
Yeah.
look across the media, you would see that indeed a lot of the female hosts tend to have maybe lighter skin and this and that. So it creates certain impressions, which is why I'm happy that some of the, these big lotion companies and the rest, I don't want to mention brands, but now they ensure that whatever ad they put out there, the big banners and all of that, they have maybe one kind of light-skinned person and then a dark-toned or dark-skinned
But
person.
even that
it helps
dark-toned
because
person, is that person really dark-toned? Because you could see some of them, there are
no, some are
levels.
actually dark. Like some of those I've seen are like they
Okay,
create
those
like
I've
depending on what
seen are not really
product
dark.
you want to use.
It's like dark, but like palatable. Like dark, but I'm not saying dark is not nice, but dark but nice. You get it? It's not like the dark, if you go to the Congo type of dark. But it's a dark like, oh, she's
that
nice.
in itself,
Not even
the
dark, she's
Kenya or
brown.
the DRC dark is beautiful. I don't
It
know
is.
where it got to that way. I was horrified once. I'll share this with you. Way back, this was around early 2000s. There was this cream that sometimes you just explore. So I wanted to change my cream a bit.
Okay.
And I didn't know. I think it's hydroquinone. I think that is one of the key ingredients in
Ingredients, yeah.
bleaching. I had no idea. So I bought a product and it contained that. And then I realized, I didn't really realize it, but all of a sudden I was getting a little,
Lighter.
and I hadn't really noticed it. It took someone telling me that, look, your face is becoming, and it wasn't that bad, but it took a lot of time to stop after you stopping using
Yeah,
that product
yeah.
for my natural tone. That's another thing people don't realize. When you start bleaching, and if you want to go back to your natural, tone,
It's gonna take time.
it's hell.
Yeah.
It's hell. So you don't even want to start off on that journey if you're not ready for the consequences. And the consequences are many.
Yeah, so I think it's a very broad
Well.
conversation. How the media portrays people, insecurity, social media, and just your personal beliefs. Let's do other stories, Benjamin. That's it from the Ghanaian Times.
Daily Guide newspaper, Subin NDC boils over missing album, and some aspiring branch officers of the opposition NDC in the Subin constituency of the Ashanti region have accused their executives of hiding the constituency album in an attempt to frustrate their bids. More details on page 6. A state developer cries over demolition. That story there. Aisha Huang, married to Ghanaian, says lawyer. But Daily Guide, this was news yesterday. We tore this apart yesterday, and that's the banner headline for the Daily Guide newspaper. Well, all apologies. I mean, anyway. And then hot race for GRA top job. Julius Siam Amishadai Owusu Amwa pictured there. Napo commends bust for 164 million Ghana cedi. Profit. Let me just go to the entertainment page and let's share some quick thoughts there.
Sure.
Black Sheriff Kamido Jackie, others grab 2022 Afrima nominations. R. Kelly guilty of child abuse in latest trial. Oh my word.
It never stops, does it?
Robert Kelly, it's just, I grew up loving this guy.
Okay.
Gotham City, city of justice.
City of Peace.
It's and Charlie,
We all need.
I believe I can fly.
Hey, step to the
I
left,
believe I
step
can
to the right. Age. I think
Charlie,
about it every night and day.
sometimes I think we can all take lessons from the life story of the likes of Bill Cosby, Robert Kelly, and all of them. Yes, there's the victimization part where sometimes blacks are unfairly targeted. If you go into the American justice system, the number of blacks who end up in prison, proportionally, looking at the population, is outrageous. But for some of them, the things that have been done, and it goes as far back as, even before Aliyah. You remember Aliyah?
Yeah. Oh,
And apparently, even when he married her, she was still just a teen, not...
very young.
Anyway, Paul Okoye spotted with his estranged wife and kids, one of the P-Square brothers.
Yeah.
Other details in the paper. Maybe we can just take a few more thoughts if you have another paper.
Quickly, the Finder, commitment to develop Ghana football is exciting to us. That's according to Access Bank. 164 illegal miners arrested. Also, page 8, NPA shuts down 3 filling stations for cheating consumers. That is in Sunyani. And the last one, 13 road projects measuring 343 kilometers. That's according to the Borno Regional Minister, ongoing in Borno Region since 2017. That is what the minister is saying.
Well, for me, my takeaway today as we wrap, the over 5.3 million jobs that have been created between 2017, I think, and 2020 or 2022. Interesting dynamics. Anyway, we'll wrap with some birthdays, Mapito. Happy 60th birthday to Deacon John Abiyo, a.k.a. Farmer John, or Chairman 1. May God's favor on you continue to multiply, and may He satisfy you with good health and long life. This is coming from your wife, Mrs. Kate Abiyo, Deputy CEO of Ghana Free Zones Authority, and all your children.
Happy
Let's
birthday
also
to-
look at the next one. Go ahead,
Happy
Mapito.
birthday to Gordon Opoku Boating, Assistant Headmaster of Takwa Senior High School. May God grant you all your heart's desires.
Okie doke. So don't you forget, today we're going to do the sports package, and after that, I'll bring you my blunt thoughts. But here's what we